The stereotype of that is basically that like EMS is like the least respected of the three like divisions of like first responders. Hi, my name is Louis Gershon. My passion is emergency medical services. At first, my passion for EMS, obviously, like all like the lights and sirens. You're getting put in situations where, again, you have this responsibility that you've never had before. Getting comfortable with, I don't know this, I'm going to figure this out. That's a very important mindset to have. But the thing that made me stay was the medicine and the passion for helping people figuring out these more complicated differential diagnoses and making a good patient care plan for people. You have that feeling that you're like helping people and that you're really making a difference, and that feeling is something that's very unique that I've only found in EMS thus far in my life. It just gives me that sense of purpose. So the way that it's split up on a truck is obviously there's two people in an ambulance. One person is going to be in the back and one person is going to be in the front on a normal call. The first thing that happens is we see the call populate on our CAD, which is like a computer-aided dispatch. We're getting a picture of what whoever is calling 911 thinks is happening. Something that I guess people might not know is a lot of times we have fire departments respond with us. That first friendly interaction is super important because you got to remember that for a lot of these people calling 911, like this is not what they had planned today. So you want to try to ease some of the tension off of that. Hey, my name's Louis, I work for blah 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 EMS. This is my partner. What's going on today? On scene, obviously we're doing, like I said before, that thorough assessment. We talk to the hospital ahead of time and let them know that we're coming. We give them sort of an advance report. So that way, if there's a special team or something like that needs to be activated, they can be activated. Every call has a level of uniqueness with it. Traffic accident, sepsis workups, MIs, strokes, the flashy ones, which are always like the stabbings and the shootings and the rollovers. An interesting case, I guess, that I worked pretty recently was my first trauma alert that I worked on a BLS truck. That was an auto versus pedestrian accident, and that was the first real like trauma alert that I worked as a lead BLS provider. So as far as processing trauma, the number one thing that I would say, any good medic, good EMT, doesn't matter how new, how old you are, should be able to talk about it with your partner and just like getting whatever you need to get off your chest. I think the biggest obstacle is just realizing that on the ambulance, some things that you deal with over the course of one shift, some people might not deal with over the course of their life. Like, the big thing with that is just not being too hard on yourself. That would probably be the biggest obstacle, at least for me. Every person on some level has made some sort of mistake. The important thing to know is have your mistakes be little ones and not ones that, again, result in death and serious injury and whatnot. But also, more importantly, just make sure that you're constantly learning. I would say that EMS is probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, reasons for personal growth on my end. Just being comfortable with the uncomfortable, knowing like, hey, in life's big plan, when something doesn't go right, whether that's like getting a bad test score or relationship or anything like that, just knowing like that you have these mental strategies to persevere through that. If the world could understand one thing about EMS, I guess it would be if a provider is telling you, hey, you really should go to the hospital, you really need to get checked out, you really should go to the hospital and you really need to get checked out. I promise you this is not our first call that we're running and that we've seen something like this. It's definitely a better idea to get checked out than to not. And the risk of not doing it is serious injury or death. It's changed my like outlook on life. There's a lot of things before I worked in EMS that I took for granted. For example, like just having a bed to sleep in every night and having food when I need food. My biggest fear in life is getting way older and not doing in life what I wanted to do. So whether that's EMS or whatever it may be, definitely do it. You only get one life and you have to take advantage of that. I love my job and there's nothing in the world I'd rather do other than work in the ambulance.